Hey, welcome to Whole Human Psychology. I'm Isaac Wicker, and today we're going to be doing part 4 of our threat cycle series. This part is going to be on the avoidance, low self confidence cycle. So, what happens is we avoid something, and then we feel low confidence about it. And because we feel low confidence, more things seem scary, so we avoid those things and we feel even lower confidence. So, we're going to get into it, and we're going to start with the avoidance side of things. Avoidance is one of our best survival tactics. You say, big scary monster over there in those trees? Easy. Just avoid the trees. Don't go over there. Whew. That feels better. Right? I didn't actually deal with the scary monster, but the big scary monster is over there, and I'm not going over there. Then if there's another big scary monster over here, I just won't go over there either. And what happens is we got big scary monsters over here that we're avoiding. We're still kind of stressed because they're out there. There's big scary monsters out there, but we're not immediately putting ourselves in danger. So there's a little bit of relief. And this happens all the time. The mantra of anxiety is, let's just avoid it. Let's just avoid it. I don't want to deal with it. Let's just avoid it. And we can bring this into all sorts of situations. The big scary monster can be a social situation where you might feel awkward. I'll just avoid it. Oh. Or the big scary monster might be learning to drive a manual transmission and feeling like, I'm going to freeze up. I'm going to stall the car in the middle of an intersection. I just won't learn that. I'll just avoid it. We have so many different options throughout the day, so many different anxieties throughout the day that we can just choose to avoid. And when we choose to avoid it, it feels relieving, right? We're given this option of, do you want to do something really difficult and intimidating and scary right now? Or do you want to not do it and feel better immediately? Oh, I guess I'll just not do it and feel better immediately. This happens all the time, and the immediate decision seems like it makes so much sense, right? Big scary thing or relief and not doing a big scary thing. But over time, this can be devastating for us as people. Why? It's not just because we left a bunch of big scary things out there, a lot of problems unsolved. That's a huge part of it, but I don't think it's the deepest part of it. I think the deepest part of it actually comes back to our self-image. So avoidance really wreaks havoc on self-confidence. Even more so than trying something and failing it. So when you try something and you fail it, you can at least be like, I did something really hard today. I didn't necessarily succeed, but I tested my strength. I learned something. I faced a fear. And then I failed. Yeah, maybe I look stupid in the end. But I know that I faced a fear today. Avoidance is saying, I didn't face a fear today. That thing was too big and scary, and I didn't want to even go close to it. And so it sends this message of, I can't deal with it. You're left not with, I tried really hard and did something really hard and I didn't succeed. You're left with the message of, there was something really hard and I just don't think I'm good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not capable enough. I'm just not good enough. And so I had to avoid it. You're sending this message. Other people can do that. Other people are capable of those things. Other people are capable of learning how to do that. I'm not. If I try, it's just going to fail. I'm just going to look stupid. It's just going to be worse. So I can't even get to a point of trying it. I'm just going to avoid it. And that really sends, even if we're not aware of it, sends this message over and over again to us. That says, I can't do it. I'm incompetent. And maybe we have just specific areas where that happens. Like for me, it's anything being handy. I'm very much stuck in this sense of I'm incompetent. I just can't do it. It's overwhelming. If I try, it's just not going to work. And so you send that message. Other people can do that. Other people can learn how to do that. I can't. And that really brings you down. Because it's not like you're testing yourself and learning. You're just walking away with these messages in your head. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm too incompetent. I'm too incapable. I'm too weak. I'm too stupid. But other people can. And so then you get this sense of like, wow, I am incapable. I'm incompetent, especially in this area. And so if you're telling yourself these messages, even if it's just internally by walking away, you're really taking yourself down. Your confidence is plummeting. Then as your confidence plummets, you're kind of down here, shrinking down. More problems seem big and scary and intimidating, right? First you have this really big, intimidating, scary problem out there, but then I'm actually here. Now this problem also seems kind of scary and intimidating. And that problem also seems scary and intimidating, and maybe I'll just avoid that one too. And I guess I don't need to really deal with that one right now. And then you're a little bit lower and a little bit lower. And as you really distrust yourself, distrust your strength, distrust your capacity, more problems are going to seem to overwhelm you. Be too much for your strength and your capacity because you've evaluated your strength and capacity way down here. And so all these problems that are coming in seem scary and big and too much. And so then you avoid again. And your confidence goes down. Then you avoid again. Your confidence goes down. So your confidence goes down. Avoidance goes up. Avoidance goes up. Confidence goes down. You really get stuck in this cycle. It's a cycle where I avoid something and that confirms a message inside of me that says, I can't do this. Life is too much for me. That problem is too much for me. I'm not good enough. I'm incapable. I'm not competent. And all those messages rolling around in here, when you're facing a new problem, they're all going to start talking to you. Hey, you're actually incompetent. You're not capable. This isn't going to work. Let's just avoid it. Let's just avoid it. Over and over and over again. And then what I found with a lot of people that I work with, and myself in some areas, is that life just gets smaller and smaller. If you think of people with agoraphobia, they're stuck in their home. Their life is tiny. They're trapped. We get trapped by our fear. We get trapped by all these messages that say you're incompetent and life is too scary for you. Life is too big and complicated and scary for you. You have to stay in this tiny area. You have to stay in this tiny bubble that's safe. And so we stop trying things. We stop engaging with the world in a way that's going to maybe make us look like fools. Maybe we're going to fail lots of times. But we stop going out there where it's unknown and unsafe. And we stay here. And then we stay here. And then we stay here. You see this a lot with people going through social anxiety. Is maybe it starts with just I don't like strangers, but then it's I don't actually return the calls of my friends, and then I don't actually return my text messages. We really get stuck. We get trapped in a world dictated by fear, in a world ruled by fear. Because avoidance is action that's ruled by fear still. We're letting our life be ruled by things that we're afraid of and by these messages inside of us that say, yep, you can't handle it. So how do we break free? When you're dealing with a phobia, so an intense fear of something, like a spider phobia, for example, the best approach is the scariest one. Exposure therapy. And what happens with exposure therapy is you learn all sorts of techniques to help you relax, and then you expose yourself to a really scary thing, the thing you're afraid of. So maybe at the beginning it's just a little bit. You don't want to overdo it and panic yourself, because panic can really kind of again reconfirm, I can't handle this, I can't handle this. But you put yourself in a scary situation. Maybe you just look at a picture of a spider. And it's scary. Yes, it's scary. And then what happens is you survive. The anxiety goes up. And then what happens is if we stay with anxiety, it goes back down. Confidence happens here, where anxiety went up, you stayed with it, it went back down, boom, confidence. Oh, I survived. I handled that situation. That was really scary. I just did something really scary today. That took a lot of courage. And I did it. I looked at pictures of spiders, and I'm terrified of spiders. Think of how much courage that took. How much willpower, how much strength that took. Maybe that's easy for other people, but for you, that took courage. That took so much courage. That's amazing. And so you're exposing yourself to something you're afraid of, and then you have to really honor that. Wow. Like, think of how much courage that took, and to be able to live courage in such a beautiful way. And then you learn from it. Wow, I can do that. I handled that situation. Or maybe I didn't handle it perfectly, and I'm going to handle it like this next time. I'm going to use more of these relaxation techniques next time. And so then you conquer that. So maybe next time you're just in the same room as a spider. Maybe the spider's even just in a cage and you're in the same room as the spider. And then you survive it. You did another thing that was scary. And you survived it, and that took courage. And I'm so proud of you. And you should be so proud of yourself. This is how we build confidence. Remember, anxiety goes like this. It ramps up, and then it goes down. It always naturally goes down. Each emotion is like a wave. It goes down at the end. And then confidence happens here. Avoidance usually happens here. Anxiety starts ramping up, we avoid. Boom. We say, oh, I can't handle that much. I can't handle that. But if you sit with it, if you stick with it, it goes back down. Then you're like, whoa, I did that. I built confidence. My first job in mental health, I did in-home work. This was right after my bachelor's degree. I was doing mental health skill building with clients. So I was in-home. I actually was very poorly trained, didn't really know what I was doing. And what I would just be told is these are clients, go into their homes and try to help them. I didn't know anything about them. I didn't know where I was going really, except for the address. And I was actually very scared of driving in the city. Felt very low confidence in my driving ability. And also wasn't that prepared as a mental health provider. And then I just did it. I did it hundreds and hundreds of times. You walk into a stranger's house after driving around the city, trying to find them, not knowing really what's going on with them. And then you show up. And then I made a fool of myself for weeks and weeks and weeks, was drowning for 6 months, finally got a hold of things after 6 months. And then by a year, felt really like I had mastery of it. But that was just every day, over and over again, doing something that was really hard for me, was really scary for me. And each new person I got, it was actually kind of scary. Being like, I don't know this person at all. I'm just driving and going into their house, not knowing what's going on. But that message over time gave me such confidence, because I was like, I can just walk into a situation and walk out and I'm fine. And so this is how we actually start to break this low self-confidence avoidance cycle, is you do scary things. You have courage and you do something scary. It doesn't need to be the big, giant, huge, scary thing that's going to give you a panic attack. Don't do that. Just start doing small, scary things. Go out of your house by yourself, call a friend, give a toast at a wedding. I don't know. Push yourself. And then your world can start opening up again. You can actually start opening up your world, building your confidence, and engaging in more things and opening your world even more. And seeing that you survived. It's not that you succeed every time, it's that you survive every time. And then you fail a lot and you learn a lot. And that's what builds up confidence. So thank you for joining me today talking about this low self-confidence avoidance cycle. So what we talked about is that as we avoid, that sends this message that says you can't handle it. And it's safer for you if you don't handle it. And you're too, whatever it is, weak, stupid, incompetent, incapable. So just avoid it. That's easier. That's safer. And getting those messages over and over again really deflates self-confidence. And then as you deflate self-confidence, all those other problems out there seem even scarier and more intimidating. And so you avoid them. So we get trapped in this cycle where the big scary world makes us run away, and running away makes us feel low self-confidence, which makes the world seem even bigger and scarier. And how do we break that? You just start doing scary things. You start doing things that are hard. And then you honor yourself for doing it. You honor yourself for the courage and determination that takes, because that's amazing. And thank you for joining me on Whole Human Psychology. Take care. I'll see you next time.